We are live.
Hey,
Boom.
right
Welcome to
there.
Fight Heads
What's
MMA.
up?
It's me, Miss Nikki. Y'all know what it is. Always live and in effect. Here we are today. This is I don't even know what today's date is.
Uh,
September 2nd.
it's Thursday. Yeah,
Yes, it's September 2nd, and it
yeah,
is
that's right. That's not bad.
El it is Elvin'elbandido Brtio with Miss Nikki today, and we are talking about his post BKFC. We're post BKFC 20 and his fight on the card. We're gonna talk about everything that went before his fight, during the fight, after the fight.
Yeah,
Yes, we're gonna see what this young man was talking about because we did and we do have our interview right there at right before the scene of the crime.
yeah,
Before the fight,
yeah.
and that was a great interview, and you said some really great stuff to me, and that's why I posted what I posted after the fight with your picture and everything, because it was great to see you be able to go in there and execute everything that you had spoke on, that I knew you was working on, and I could feel your energy when we were talking in that interview, and you had some really great energy. You was like, "I'm here, Miss Nikki. Let's do it. Ain't no turning back. Ain't no. I
Yeah,
got my little bit of fighting nerves, but that's it.
yeah,
Welcome, baby."
yeah, yeah. I was ready to do that fight, and I knew that Julio was a world class boxer, and he was a tough warrior, and I was one of the only guys who wasn't like uh, who didn't appreciate him for what he was. A lot of people thought it was going to be an easy fight. And I was like, no, this is going to be a tough fight, and I'm going to make it a hard fight. And it was an awesome fight. The fight went exactly the way I planned it to. I didn't get the knockout, but I mean, it was a great fight. Julio's world class boxer. It was a world class boxer. It was a world class fighter, and it just showed the difference in experience and the difference in the minutia of the sport and how big of a difference it is.
So, compared to any of your other bouts that you have had at Bare Knuckle, what was different about him being that? I mean, what was different? I know him being a world class boxer and all that, but what was really different in them strikes and his movement? What was there for you?
Well, you know, it's not necessarily that he was different, and it's just when I was doing the interview, I just try to see things for how they are,
Hmm.
and I knew that he was going to be a world class boxer, and I know that age isn't as
Hmm.
important in bare knuckle. I see how well in shape he is, how well taken care of he is, and the coaches and the trainers that he has are all world class, and so I already knew this guy was going to be serious, or whether it was going to be just a one and done deal, or whether he's trying to make a career out of it. I just know from this, from I'm just like I said, I always try to understand my opponent's psychology, and I just knew that he was going to be tough, and he's Cuban too, and the Cuban fighters are tough guys. This is like Puerto Rican. Our flag is the opposite of ours. It was made by the same people, and it's that spirit of just a tough guy. Just tough fighters. A lot of tough boxers have always come out from the islands, and it was exactly what I expected. The only thing different with this fight is that I wanted to push forward a little bit, but I also wanted to show him how different it was from bare knuckle, and show that I'm willing to have a little bit of a dirty fight. I'm willing to fight in the clinch. I'm willing to push forward. I'm willing to bleed. I'm willing to, and I'm totally comfortable with it. It's just I actually got tired in that fight, and that was one of the things I was happy about. I wanted to get really, really gassed. I did so much that was just nonstop work the whole fight. And what was crazy is Julio. He's such a world class boxer. He's used to going 12 rounds. Even after all that I did to him, he never really broke. I would hit him, and it looked like he was about to go down. He would bounce right back up. He would spin around, stumble, and just keep going. And the guy, and I mean in the fourth round, which was probably one of the rounds where he got some of the best hits on me, I stumbled him so many times, just hit him hard, and he was just. It was everything I expected, and I just knew that he wasn't going to be able to handle the bare knuckle stuff and the clench and the work, and that's just being dirty, and that the nasty aspects of bare knuckle that you don't really have to worry about in boxing, and stuff that I'm totally comfortable doing.
Did you get any pushback from naysayers? I hear your rooster in the background. He is chiming off. About fighting somebody who was the age that Mr. Garcia is, even though he was a willing participant. He signed that contract. Did you get, a little pushback? Sometimes they tend to be a little.
Oh, well, a lot of people are like, oh, why is this guy fighting Elvin? This guy is a first time guy. The main complaint was always, you hear me, right? The main complaint was always that, it's a first time guy. Not too much that he was older, but that he's a first time guy, and like it's a high, even though he's an older guy, it's a high risk fight for me, because if I lose, I'm losing to some first time guy, and if I win, I'd be the first time guy. Yeah. But luckily, Julio showed, to me, it actually, that fight, I kind of rose the value, his stocks up. It showed that he is in this game and he could fight. Even at 46, he could still bang it out with the best, So
even in our conversation before the fight, I was asking you, what's in your future? So now we're past this fight. What's in your future?
We want the gold, we always wanted the gold. We've been talking about that for a long time. We had setbacks at 155. We went back to 65. We've been doing great. I'm comfortable in this weight, especially with the traveling. I don't have to. It's so hard. Any fighter will tell you traveling is hard cutting, and flying is even worse. And going to 155 is such a tough cut with the flying and everything and the traveling. And I usually usually wherever I fight at, it takes me like 12 hours to get there. 10, 12 hours plus the drive. It was like a 14-hour trip my last fight. It was a 14-hour fight. It was a 14-hour flight the fight before that, and then a 2-hour drive. So that's just grueling with that, when I'm going all the way down to the wire. So I'm comfortable at 165. It's a different beast. You kind of want that tenacity and that mental flexibility in there. So it's been playing good for me. And I was great at 165 as an amateur. I'm used to fighting bigger guys. I got a great style. I have a deceiving height, because I'm 5'7", so I look small, and so you really don't appreciate how big I am. So I hit you. When I hit you, you're like, holy crap, So usually people back up when I hit them, because they realize like, oh, this guy can knock me out if I just let him tee off on me. So it's great. It's great. It's a great place to be. 170, 165. The guys are huge, way too big. 155, 165, 155, 145. They're always going to be taller than me because I'm 5'7". So I got to pick my poison kind of thing. Pick your poison kind of thing. But I like the 165. It's a good place for me.
Have you heard any little rumblings from BKFC since the 20 card about anything moving forward?
Yeah, I'm sure I'm not supposed to say anything, but I did get offered a very interesting matchup, and it's something completely unexpected. But I think it would be cool, but it would definitely have to be worth it. They would have to make it worth our time. So it's not something that I really can talk about, but if it does come to fruition, it would just be some off the wall shit, But it would definitely be interesting.
Come on.
I'm a cute guy in Dallas. Yeah, but we could think it's an offer, a weird one. It was a strange. I'm like, whoa, what the heck? But it kind of makes sense. But at the same time, I'm a 65er, so I have to just.
So somebody bigger than you?
Smaller.
Oh,
yeah,
smaller.
Yeah, it would be at a catch weight if it happened. Mm-hmm. It would be at a catch weight if it happened. Yeah, but I'm not really trying to stay too much. I'm not really trying to make that cut to 55 or 45. It's just 45 is just it's a killer. But 55, it's really rough. And like I said, I'm here to fight. I want to fight the best of my abilities. I want to fight to the best of my abilities. And when I fight the best of my abilities, is at 165. So.
Understood.
Yeah.
Good Lord. So for as long as the trip was getting there, it was as long and probably longer going back.
Yeah.
You got home. what you been doing since you've been home, young man?
I've been resting. Like I said, a lot of people, they always like to make a point to jump right back in the gym. It's a lot easier when you have students and people relying on you to show up and open the gym. And I totally understand that. As an amateur, I used to do that too. I used to fight and I'd be the next day at the gym rolling with everybody. But right now, we're on the works of opening a gym. And, right now I have my family, my business, and my fighting. So now that I put all these 10 weeks into fighting, I want to at least enjoy my family and some time with, just doing my thing here with my family. But it's only like for like a week because, like I said, I can't just sit around. As much as I love my wife and kids, and we go to the beach, I take them to the river, we enjoy some time together, some family time. It's always good. Some music. But it gets to the point where like I gotta do something. So we're already back at the gym. I'm doing a little bit of work, but we're trying to get the ring set up and trying to just go through the stages of setting up our home gym here, our community gym here in Mount Nabo. It's probably gonna take a little longer than we expected, but it's getting done.
If there was anything that people could help with as far as you guys getting your gym built up, what would it be? I mean, tell us.
Material, or money, or anything would be good. Anything to work, because obviously it costs money to do everything. But if we can get the material, right now, we need corner posts. We need 2 white corner posts. We have those, so we have a donation for the blue and the red one. So we need some corner posts and some rope covers and stuff like that. We do need some 2x4s, and it costs money, especially now 2x4s. It costs money to do all that. So we're just progressing as we go, but we don't stop moving. That's the thing. Like, we're just gonna keep moving. But now that we got the ring, we have everything we need for the gym, for the ring. The ring's gonna be done here by the end of the week. And then we're going to move on to the mat, to the floor space. And then after we get all the floor space done, we're going to move on to get all the bathrooms cleaned up. Then we're going to tidy everything up. And then we're going to move on to opening it. We have to open up matricula, how you say. We're going to have to open up curriculum and let people sign up. So we're going to need at least a month to let people sign up for the curriculum. And we have to let everybody in the community know, because it's going to be a community program for kids. Mainly, we're going to be doing free classes for kids 6 to 18, but we're also going to be doing adult classes, boxing, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, judo, women's self-defense. Well, not women's self-defense, women's kickboxing, and some self-defense. I'm going to have some guys come out here and work some self-defense stuff with it. But it's going to be a community gym, circular economy. We're going to do fundraisers, and fight nights, and competition. And we're going to try to do everything in home and just have a community center for people they can bring their kids and they have a place.
So for your fighters and your fight community that would like to help or even donate, where can they reach out to you so you can make that happen? You know what I'm saying? Where should they?
You could reach out to my email. You can always Facebook and Messenger and stuff like that. But you can reach out to any donations or anything when it comes to for our gym, for our community center. You could reach out to my email directly. You could do elvin.elbandido@gmail.com. And you could, write me a letter, tell me if you got any stuff you can send me, or if you want to donate, give something to our PayPal so we can get, and we'll make sure we show the receipts of all the stuff we show our ongoing work at our page on Facebook. So we're willing to take any donations. As I said, it's a community thing. It's a community effort. We took some donations. We've given a whole bunch of donations, like 18 bags, the ring, the mat, the time, the cut. We did all the welding and all the soldering, and we're doing all the work. But there's still only so much you could do. But Absolutely. It's gonna get done. It gets done. The main thing is you just keep moving. You keep moving, it gets done.
So that brings me to the question of the picture I seen in your post that you made about starting to give away your fight gear and stuff from different fights.
Yeah.
So with this community project going on, wouldn't this be an absolute fantastic time for you to auction something like that?
Yes. I'm gonna start. We were thinking about that. These shorts, particularly the ones that we have for it's going to be for the municipality because they gave us a place to train
Okay.
and a place to start our project for a community center. They believe in what we're doing, so
Yes.
we're doing that. And then we actually had the community emblem on the shorts, which is something you don't see too much. We had their logo on the shirt, the municipality of Mount Nabo, and so we just want to do it as a show of appreciation. I usually give somebody my shorts or something, but this is the first time I put it in a frame. And I was like, man, I gotta start doing this more often. I'm gonna start keeping the hand wraps and putting the hand wraps in frames and the shirts and signing stuff and pictures, put pictures on it, make it look real nice and start not necessarily auctioning off. We could gift it to people, but we could do auctions. We could do fundraisers for people who need it. I could see a lot of possibilities of doing some really good stuff for people who need it. And it doesn't really cost me anything. And then we just it's a
Absolutely,
way to,
young man.
it's just passing it forward. I've been really blessed, and I'm thankful for all the help that I've gotten. I have so many friends that have helped me, and people that I don't even really know that well. And it takes, it's one guy fighting up there, but especially at the highest level, you can't do it by yourself. You need a whole team of people. And I've always been surrounded by great people. No matter where I show up, I just happen to always end up in the right place. So it's a good way for me to just pass forward. It's just I learned from my coaches, my original coach. I started a community center. It's what I learned from my trainers. I'm just passing it forward.
So, what's been the biggest change in your life since you started at Bare Knuckle? Like, you guys are making history, have been since day one, for card one, and everybody that's come, in succession. Y'all just keep making it look, you know, like something everybody think they can do. I don't know why they
No,
see y'all out there and think they can do this stuff.
I want to I was telling my buddy, I'm like, I want to issue a formal apology for all these young prospects for making it look so easy. It's not easy, bro. This is rough. It's hard. It hurts so bad. And this is not for everybody. This is not for everybody because some of the guys that fight bare knuckle, they make it look easy, and it's not easy. It's really rough. It's always tell people that the injuries are like car accidents. When people come back, you're like, whoa! It happens so fast. You spend more time thinking back on the fights than fighting because the fight is just boom, in and out. You're gone. You're like, whoa, what happened? You're just thinking about what happened more than anything else. So it's just different. It's not for everybody. And it's just the guys that are looking, just make sure you study the sport and you respect it for what it is, and don't think that you're just gonna take the gloves off and it's just gonna be like an MMA fighter or you might you might get lucky and knock dude out right in the first round. That's always fun. But eventually you're gonna run into a guy like me. And then you're gonna have to. There's gonna be a line, and that's when you're gonna separate just the guys that want to do it for the guys that bare knuckle fighters and the elite level of bare knuckle fighters.
Damn, dude. Y'all are so great to me. Y'all are great to me. I love it. What has it made? Has bare knuckle fighting made your life better? Is the question I think I want.
It's been good for me.
Answer to.
Bare knuckle, and I always thank David Feldman, the owner of Bare Knuckle, because he gave us this outlet, he gave us this platform to work off of. But I started BKFC3. We didn't get paid a lot, but we got paid when we came in early. The guys that were coming in, nobody wanted to do bare knuckle. When I first started, nobody wanted to do bare knuckle. After we started fighting, then everybody wanted to do bare knuckle. But at first, it was scary. Nobody wanted to do it, so they were paying good, and it wasn't like life-changing stuff, but it was stuff that you could make moves if you're smart. And I was able to do my first fight, and then when I did my second fight with Jim Allers, even though I lost, that fight helped me get all the funds that I needed to finally move to Puerto Rico and start my life over here again, the way me and my wife had been envisioning for years. And then when I fought Palomino again, I lost again, but that was a great fighting experience for me. On top of that, it helped me stabilize myself out here in Puerto Rico. So because of my bare knuckle fighting, I've been able to do what I'm doing now. and it's been doing nothing but opening doors for me. And it's a new outlet, and it's new. It's not something, like I said, it's something that everybody thinks that they could do. But nigga, you've been here for a long time, and that whole fantasy ends really fast when you get in the, really fast when you get in the back, but it's just in and out, boom, boom, and it changed your heart all of a sudden. It's lightning fast. It's more like a car accident than anything. So yeah, I've been blessed. I've been doing good, and I was able to come in. I knew this was not going to be like something like regular boxing or anything, and I started with my stance of here, and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna fight like this, and everybody's like, what are you doing? I'm telling you, there's a reason. It's got to be a reason why I'm fighting like this. And then the more we did it, the more we fight, the more the way they fought, which didn't make sense. When I first started as a boxer, as a kid, I was 16. I read a whole bunch of books on boxing. I would just read books on boxing and all the different manuals for different people. And the old bare knuckle guys, the pugilists, what they call them, the pugilists with no gloves, they would fight standing in a circle. They fought. They had different stances. They had some fight like that, some fought like this, but they all had different stances. They always had some sort of fencing stance. And then the way they punch, you're like, that, why the hell they do that? And the way they move their hand, none of it really made sense because you're looking at it from a modern perspective, boxing perspective. Even the speed. One of the things that changed from bare knuckle to glove boxing is the way that they were able to fight. Like guys like Jack Dempsey were able to put a glove on and just throw bombs, and nonstop. Well, you couldn't do that before, you couldn't just throw bombs, and just boom. Eventually, a lot of guys didn't know what to do with it because the old bare knuckle guys they knew that you could throw bombs, but you could only throw so many until you get caught with. You break something or you hurt something so bad that hand doesn't work as well as it used to, and the fights used to last forever till somebody gave up. It was till one guy went down, so it was a different way of just approaching the fight. It was a different defense, a different just mentality coming into it. And the modern bare knuckle is not quite the same because the rule set does change. It does change the tempo of the fight because you can't fight. It's not unlimited rounds. You got five 2-minute rounds. So you have to do that work. It's kind of a mix of the old and the new. So it's new, it's old, and it's new kind of mixed together because it's that old bare knuckle style, but you got to go faster. So it's like sped up even more, and you got to compress that style. You got to be able to use all the stuff that they used to do, but at a faster pace. So it's a different sport, that's why. But I knew that not coming in, but I've been getting more and more acclimated to the sport, understanding the balance of it, and all the little minutiae. It's really been helping me a lot, and that's one of my favorite things about bare knuckle. It's been a learning experience, and it's humbling when you see how much work has been put in, and how we just kind of walk in. And now there's like a new generation of bare knuckle guys, but the old generation, they put a lot of work in. And it's easy to forget, but you go back and you just rediscovering old stuff.
So the old is new again.
Yeah. You see, even the way I stand, a lot of people, they don't understand how I can stand there with my hands down and not get hit, but it's because it's bare knuckle, and bare knuckle, you have to block. You can't just defend. You stand there like this doesn't do anything. So as long as I have the reflexes to bring my hands up when I need to and move my hands up and cloak up, and and then it's gonna be different. It's gonna be different than just boxing, where if the guy comes at me, I could just literally just make a ball and just the guy's gonna just gas on me. Where you really can, you see guys try to do that in bare knuckle, where they just try to shell up like it's a boxing match. That's what they've been doing sparring, and they just get annihilated. So it's just the mentality there.
There.
Yeah, it's so easy. You go right through. You like this, you go boop, right through the punch. You're like, dang, what happened? So it's just that's what I love about the sport. It's just, and I'm glad I came in as a student. I'm still a student, and that's why I plan on being the champ, because I'm learning, getting better. My next fight I'm gonna be better than my last. It's like I was before my last fight. I'm gonna get better and better and better every fight, and we haven't plateaued yet. Yesterday we were working at the gym, and we were coming up with some new stuff. I'm like, oh, that's gonna work good. And we're already coming up with some new stuff. So it's gonna be awesome. They're always coming up with some new stuff, so it's always fun. It's always fun. We always try to keep it fun. We train really hard, but we keep it fun. That's the big difference. So we could just keep it going.
It seems like a lot of people have pick up that kinetic energy you give out of relaxation and just an enjoy and living in that moment. You seem
in
to
the
live
moment.
in your
You gotta be in the moment. Yeah. Especially in bare knuckle. If you're not there, man, you can't just check out. 'Cause I understand. I've been doing bare knuckle. I've been doing boxing, MMA for a long time, and you could just check out and you wake up and you get your hand raised. You know, well, that's never gonna happen in bare knuckle. It's never gonna happen in bare knuckle. You have to be there, right there. You know.
So my question to you is, Mr. Allers, Mr. Palomino, ever rematch on either fight?
I would love to fight either of them. If they want to come up to 165 and fight me, come on. Come up here.
Okay.
I didn't get to make either of them bleed last time. I promise. If they fight me next time, they're going to both of them. Whoever. It doesn't matter. The next guy who fights me is going to bleed. It don't matter if it's Palomino or Jim Allers or some bum or anybody.
Did you feel like when you was going into either one of those fights, did you feel like you had to prove something?
No, especially with the Palomino fight. I was just too comfortable in that fight. But with Jim Allers, I wasn't training the way I was supposed. Even though I made the sacrifice to just stay and train. If I wouldn't have stayed by myself and trained, it would have been even worse. But I was in the middle of moving. We're doing so much work, and I just wasn't in the right place. And I knew, I didn't even realize that till when I got there. And I was like, shit, man. But it didn't work out the way I wanted. But I didn't get hurt. It happens. I didn't get beat up or anything. I just got caught. I didn't even get hit hard, really. I just got caught right on the spot. And but it was a learning experience. Your A game no matter what.
That's what's up. Have you spoken to the Beast here lately? Have you spoken to him?
Jim's. I haven't talked to him in a while, but I always stay in touch. Like me and Jim are cool. He's an awesome guy. He's a good father, trainer. He's a respectable dude.
Right. So my question was, do we have any? Has he said any peeps about when we might see him return?
I've heard rumors that Jim's coming back. I would love to see Jim back. We've been talking about training. You'll probably see me and Jim train together soon in the future. Either me over there with him or him over here. We'll probably we've been trying to do a lot of cross training. A lot of the bare knuckle guys. So, but I'm sure he's getting the itch to fight bare knuckle again. It's about that time right now where he's just itching. I heard he's coming back, so be interested to see what weight division. He's so good at cutting weight and doing all this stuff. I don't know how he feels about cutting weight in bare knuckle, right. Which is cutting weight in boxing, cutting weight in MMA, cutting weight in bare knuckle. It's cutting weight in lifting, weightlifting. It's just different sports. There's different factors you gotta look into. So I be see what weight he comes in, who he's fighting, and see what he's doing, and see how he's bounced back from that last fight.
Yeah,
I'm cheering for Jim. Absolutely. Jim's a great guy.
Oh, and we have to send out our prayers for two of our bare knuckle fighters. Mr. Palomino and Mr. Thornton. Mr. Palomino is suffering from COVID at this point.
He's recovering though. I see some videos of him. He's recovering, and I'm sure he still got some. I'm sure he still has some residual fatigue. A lot of people always have that fatigue when they get sick because it's almost like a pneumonia. It's almost a lot of the symptoms, especially the guys. It's really because it's the stuff that I heard, but a lot of the symptoms. It almost sounds like when people have a parasites, it almost sounds like when you have that's what it seems like when a lot of people get really bad like him. The symptoms that he showed, I'm not saying they had parasites, but it's the symptoms that he showed. So when you get done being
eating at you,
so when you were done being sick, you're not going to be normal for a while.
Right?
It's going to take you a while for you to recover all that tissue and all that stuff. I'm sure but I'm hoping he recovers. We were hoping it doesn't interfere with his fights and whatever he got planned. He's the champion, and he's a great champion, and I want to see him do good. So like I said, I'm not cheering against any of these guys unless they're fighting against me. Then obviously I got to take care of business. I'm always gonna root for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Mr. Thornton, who was our fighter that got hurt on the card you were fighting on that night, that
Oh
was
yeah,
shocking for
yeah,
everybody.
yeah. That
He's
was really
still
bad. The way
recovering from this.
is he?
Yeah, he's still in the hospital.
Really?
It got
It
yeah,
was bad. He hit the ground harder than he got hit. The way he
very
spiked his
hard.
he spiked his head on the ground. You don't really see that too much. The way he went down,
No.
everybody was like, "Oh!" It was bad. We knew everybody knew it was bad. As soon as he hit the ground, it was bad, and he didn't get up for a
Yeah.
while. Hopefully, he recovers. It was a crazy fight. It was too bad it had to happen
So,
like that.
do you think that
Also, too, Bobo Bannon's wife, she's going
yes?
into surgery now too,
Oh,
and
is
you know
she?
she's going into surgery. She has some heart problems and stuff like that with her, whatever her
Yeah, she
defibrillator,
had
so
a
she has to
had a
get replaced.
moment
So
that night
I'm holding
too.
her in
It
our
was a
we're
lot
holding
going
her in
on
our
in the
thoughts too.
building.
Yeah, we're holding her in our thoughts and our prayers too, because they're all really good people, you know. So we're hoping everything goes good over there for them, for the best.
Absolutely. Hopefully we'll get to talk to Bobo soon too.
Yeah,
And he'll have some exciting news for us for about his wife and her recovery.
yeah.
So do you think that when stuff like with the pairing of Kleckler and Thornton, do you think that gives Mr. Kleckler maybe a little bit of a
That's
put
not
him in
like a paper champ or something. Like we got a loaded record, padded record or something like that. Well, it's not Clicker's fault. I mean,
no, no,
it's
no,
not
no.
Clicker's fault.
But do you think it makes him or could make you guys as the fighter, as that person, complacent? You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
yeah, I'm sure that fight probably did him more bad than good. You know, just logistically speaking, from any way, you know. But even psychologically, I'm sure it's not good to hurt someone. I wouldn't want to hurt somebody that bad after a fight. I want to hurt you bad, but as soon as the fight's over, it's over. My contract's done. Um, so I'm sure that there's a lot of stuff that I'm sure he wasn't. I'm sure it wasn't
oh,
good for him, but that's not his fault.
I
You
don't
know?
blame Mr. Kleckler in any way. You guys
No,
are
it's
all
not his fault.
willing
He's a fighter.
participants.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's something that nobody has control over, not the promotion,
If
not
anything, I
even you
mean,
guys as the fighter. Y'all are there to fight.
honestly speaking, and I'm not talking shit anybody, but like, who bears the biggest responsibility in something like that? The commission, because the commission approved it. So it's not really anybody. You can't really do anything about it. It's not anybody's fault because everybody agreed to it. But
Right. So my thing is when you have those fights that end in the first round very quickly, and you have and some of our fighters have come in with those the
mhm.
first and second fight, and then their third fight, it's a real test, and they
Yeah,
get touched. And
yeah,
now let me ask you a question.
yeah,
On that same card, we
yeah.
seen that damn rooster is
Sorry,
throwing me off. It's
I can't
throwing
do
me
anything
off.
about the rooster.
I know, baby. It's just that's not for me a usual
I'm a,
sound in the
can
day.
you hear me
Don't
good?
go
I'm sorry. I
anywhere.
gotta switch
I
back.
can hear you well. Just
All
the
right, cool.
rooster just busted in. Fish and Henry.
That was
So
a rough fight. Yeah, that was a rough fight. I mean, I love both Fish and Henry. They're both, some of my favorite bare knuckle heavyweights. But I think maybe I've had the same thing happen to me, where they're both about. I think it's a great fight on paper. Both guys, I think it was a great matchup. But the problem is, I didn't know that. That was the first time. Fish ever fought at 205. So it was just maybe too much of a pill to swallow. That was a hard cut.
yeah,
And fighting somebody like Quentin after making such a hard cut for your first time, experimental weight cut, it's probably not the best thing. That's how I lost. That's how I lost my undefeated record as a 155. I was 7-0 at one point. I lost my undefeated. I fought another 7-0 guy. Great on paper, except he's a champion at 145. He's been fighting 145 his whole life. Where I'm dropping down for my first time to fight a champion and got my ass whooped. It has, and it's just a lot of because the weight cut was so bad. I lost before I even went in there. Before I even got in there, I was like, "This is gonna suck." I never recovered from the weight cut. You know, it was so rough. So I totally understand. And that's why I'm not a big fan of taking it to the limit, because from my own personal experience, some people are good with it, but I mean, it's gonna take a toll on you.
Absolutely. So
I could have been a way better fight at heavyweight.
That is some smoke. That's what I'm saying. If Mr. Fish was all the way there, because Quentin looked like he was all the way there. He was already,
yeah.
He looked good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Mr.
But
Fish,
Quentin,
he did struggle.
Cut.
He did struggle, huh? So
but
it don't look like his cut was anywhere near what Mr. Fish's was.
No, because Quentin has experience. That's not his first time cutting to 205, and experience is huge, especially when you're doing like really traumatic stuff to your body. It's traumatic to cut weight like that, you know. When you're doing that to your body, sometimes you don't really know how your body's going to react. You might just get water retention, or you don't never know what might happen. You might get a headache all of a sudden, or all of a sudden you get stomach problems. That's what happened to me my first time to cut 145. I was chugging Pepto-Bismol right before I went out in the fight, you know.
I keep saying the stuff y'all have to do to yourselves in order to even just step into these rings and octagons is enough. Oh Lord. So if the rematch happened between Mr. Henry and Mr. Fish, at what weight class heavyweight
would be nice. I mean, he could do it again, 205. Obviously, he could make the 205 weight. I think he could do it. I think if he
just a better cut.
Appropriate cut and appropriate training for a 205. I'm sure it's his first cut to 205. So a lot of people don't understand that. That's one thing I learned. I'm a 165er, I have to fight like a 65er. If I'm 155er, I have to fight like a 55er. If I'm a 45er, I have to fight like a 45er. And those are not the same thing. Those are three different weight classes. They have different things going on, different speeds, different timing, different power. And there's the performance and the cardio and the conditions gonna be different depending on how much you cut, and you only learn that from experience. And that's why guys like Khabib, he cut a whole bunch of weight, get it back. But with his fighting style, and it's MMA, where you could just, with his fighting style, he can get away with it. And from his experience, he can get away with it because he that's his fighting style. But Bare Knuckle is. That's a different beast. I don't mean to keep freaking beating a dead horse. But
it is what it is. They need to know, because they be wanting to smoke. They be thinking they want to smoke.
Man, that's why knockouts be horrible.
Joey always says, yes. Everybody want that problem until they get it.
Yeah. They got to run into Lorenzo. You're like, oh, God. You got to run into one of these beasts. There's some beasts in West Bare Knuckle now, man. There's some veterans. This guy's got 7-8 fights.
What do you think is going to be next for our guy, the Juggernaut?
Oh, I hope he gets a title shot. He deserves it. I think it's perfectly. I think Hector Lombard punching him was slapping him, whatever the hell he did, was a perfect segue for a title fight. So I think we both deserve gold.
You think Hector gonna sign on the dotted line? You think Hector gonna sign on the dotted line?
I hope so. I don't see any reason why. I think we both deserve gold for our next fight, honestly speaking. Not to favor Lorenzo, but just, even though he's my guy, but just looking on paper, you gotta give him the guy a title fight, especially if there's a champion now. Who else?
Right.
Yeah.
Damn. So that means you would be facing what is his name that holds that belt?
There's nobody at 165.
Nobody at 165. I thought our dude
no, we don't have anybody.
What's his name? Our other MMA fighter. Who got another belt that night?
That night?
Yeah.
Anybody fight for a belt? No, Hector. That's
Thiago.
I would love to fight Thiago, but I don't think Thiago makes 65. Man, that boy's big. The problem, I mean, dude, if he makes 65,
so he's what, the 175? If he makes
65, I'd be like salivating, boy. I'd be so happy to fight him.
Man,
Bring it,
Lord,
I would love it. But the problem is, I can't go to 165. They're huge, dude. Ultimately, I'm a little 165er. I'm a little 155er. I'm a little 145er. So I'm little. Once you get to 170, they're giants. They're giants, you know.
Well, the higher y'all get in the weight class, the bigger y'all are. So I understand. I get it. Shoot, wherever you get in, where you fit in, baby. Where you at? Where you at? I got one more good question to ask, so y'all gonna laugh too, cause Miss Nikki with the shenanigans. Yes. Where you at, Elvin? Where you at, Elbandito? And that is always the most awesome part is they will tell you whatever it is you want to know. They'll tell you. Um, except for the stuff that has to deal with their contracts and their upcoming fights. So that's what I'm saying. Y'all see so many times in Miss Nikki's videos, she be right on the cusp of breaking news, fight news. But we can't say it because the contract has not been signed and all the T's and the I's have not been dotted and crossed. So another moment we have with El Bandito, and we'll find out. We'll find out because he'll, when it gets done and said, he always let Miss Nikki know when he's has his upcoming bouts, and um, if we can, we talk about it before the fight, and usually, if we can, we talk about it after the fight. So, whatever we were talking about in the beginning of this video, of possibly what's coming down the pike for El Bandito, you know, just hold on to your horses, you guys, because Miss Nikki got the saddle. Yes. Um, I don't even know what else. Like I said, let's pray for. But we all need prayer. We not just in our fight community, you know, all over the world. We need to take a moment and say a prayer for each other, for our brothers, our sisters, our loved ones. Oh man, there's so much going on right now in the world. Um, Ida has wrecked shop from one side of the south down in Mississippi and Louisiana all the way. She came through mountains and everything. Yeah, she came through here in Virginia. Today our weather is not the best right now today because we're suffering the remnants of that storm of Ida. The people in New York and the Bronx, New Jersey, everybody is being affected by Ida. She came through here with no, she had nothing to give us. She was here to take everything. So to everybody that's going through something, and whew, our people over in Afghanistan, we've lost some of our young service members. Just love and prayers and peace to everybody. Um, we may not get it in this moment, the love, the prayers, or the peace, but it will come, people. It will. Trust it will. Um, yes, Mr. Thornton, our fighter that did get hurt on our BKFC20 card. He's still in the hospital. As a matter of fact, I was having a little bit of a conversation with somebody from. Okay, so Mr. Thornton is in a very serious condition and way right now, you guys. Because it is his medical history, I know being a 23-year career caregiver, it just can't release. I will not release his personal information, but just know that he is in a serious way. We need to pray for him, and it sounds like they have as much control over his situation as they can, and it's a kind of sit and wait right now. We didn't even get to talk about this young man's fight. We didn't even get to talk about the daggone freaking main event on this BKFC20 card. Yeah, y'all see this? This is nice. This is nice. This was a gift. Somebody, I get this as a gift. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Y'all know this my dude right here. I know this my dude. Me and him gonna get together soon. I had to give him um some time to get home and regroup himself. So as you heard El Bandito say, the travel is a big part of the wear and tear on their minds and their bodies when it comes to these fights. So, you got to give them. I like to talk to y'all when y'all are clear. That's why a lot of times I don't want to do a post fight interview right there after you've been banging and banged on. And I like for y'all to get home and relax, get loved on, get your mind back right, get your body back right, so you can look at your fight and tell me what you really think. Because it's different the night that it happens. Because like Elvin said, everything happens so fast that some stuff y'all don't even remember in that moment happened, and y'all say it. I don't even remember that happening. So I like it when I get y'all after you've recovered and got your mind and your body back in working order, and you can answer clearly and give us the best answers that you have for whatever was going on. um of course the post fight interviews are hot, 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 but at the end of the day, I always get such a better interview when you guys have had a chance to see what really went on and evaluate yourselves and talk to your team a little bit and your family. And like I said, your minds are clear. I like that. Um, yeah, a lot going on in the world, people. Um, this is my dude right here. He'll be back. You know, some of my best fighters at BKFC have either had their bell rung, um, lost a fight or two, um, have situations going on outside of the ring. Yeah, some of my best fighters. So I don't hold a lot of stuff close to me when it comes to that, you know, because you just never know what somebody else is living through in that moment. So, you know, we got a lot to cover, you guys. We got a lot to cover. Some stuff has probably, with this storm moving through so many different areas, I would imagine that the kibosh is going to be put on a couple of different events in the next coming few weeks. Um, Also, Miss Nikki had talked about put that video out that um, where I had Reggie, Joey, and Jerry Slugger Forrest announcing their 3 title fights. Um, it just has not been the best time for my Virginia on their big stage fights here the last few outings. Um, our guy, Mr. Cusimano, um, his fight ended in the first round TKO. He was the victim of a TKO from our guy, Mr. Daniel Dubois from over there across the water. That kid was just, he was thrown with bad intentions, Mr. Dubois. Um, so I look for Joey to recover and get his mind back right and look at his fight, see what was going on, and hopefully Miss Nikki will be able to catch him soon, get up with him soon, and we can talk about that. Yeah, because that happened on the Jake Paul Tyron Woodley card. Yeah, shenanigans. Man, I'm so sick of watching y'all being robbed. That don't make no sense. But it is what it is. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. Only the two people that signed on the dotted line should have any complaints. I thought the fight looked like what did we expect? Mr. Paul, that was what, his fourth professional boxing bout? And Tyron that was his first professional boxing match. But see, this is kind of where exposure is starting to happen, because as mixed martial artists, you guys are expected to be well rounded in the different disciplines of combat. And the very first one is that stand up. You don't usually meet when a fight starts, it doesn't usually start on the ground. It doesn't usually start up against a wall or a fence. It usually starts with two people with enough space to throw them paws. So, what I think is happening, what is y'all's level of your striking is kind of freaking really being exposed. So if you guys, as my MMA fighters, are going to take on these fights and boxing, please make sure that y'all are pretty much well rounded. I don't get it, because I'm thinking that's the first thing. I know some of you guys are, your bases are different. Where you start at is not always boxing. Some is wrestling, some is jujitsu, some is kickboxing, and that kind of thing. But god dang, y'all, as MMA fighters, see, they specifically are picking out MMA fighters. They started with celebrities. Now they working their way to just try to see what they can do with y'all. But I need y'all to stand your ground. I need y'all to stand your ground. If y'all gonna take these fights, I need y'all to take them as seriously as you possibly can. Because there are people out here that don't look at it as just being two celebrities. There are people that really love combat sports. Some people like MMA, some people like boxing, some people like kickboxing. Everybody's different, and some people like me, I like it all. So y'all crossfighting, you just can't step into somebody else's wheelhouse and not expect them to run you over. That's what I'll say. So that fight with Mr. Paul and Mr. Woodley looked like what I thought it was going to look like. I thought Mr. Woodley edged out the win. But I knew when Mr. Paul said in that Ariel Hawani interview, listen, people, they tell you all the time, they tell you what you want to know. You just got to be freaking tuned in. He said it's impossible for me to lose this fight. Oh, shit. That was the beginning of the end for me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was it right there. When he said that, I was done. I said, no knockout, no win. So, hate to put it to you guys. The knockout is proven who wants it more at this point. No knockout, no win. Even if you are beating the crap out of your opponent, even if you are outworking your opponent, even if you are cutting off the ring or cutting off the octagon, it seems like the only thing that's getting their attention is the knockout. So there you have that. So Hopefully Miss Nikki will be returning later. We'll be talking more about. I need to bring y'all up to date on yeah, on whatever it is I'm thinking about. So with that being said, never here to participate, always here to dominate. Miss Nikki, Fight Heads MMA. Love, peace, and hair grease, my peoples. I'll be seeing you soon. And thank you, Elvin'elbandido. I've been waiting to see if you were gonna pop back in, baby. Maybe I don't know. The weather has been bad everywhere, you guys. So just never know what caused him to pop out. He usually doesn't do that. We usually get to the end of our interviews and greet you goodbye and all that stuff, but we weren't able to do that this time. But be looking for Miss Nikki because she on her grind today, and we're gonna find out. We're gonna see what falls out today. All right, you guys. Love, peace, and hair grease. Out of here.